this next jersey is actually in Cali, the team in Cali, and I wore it back to Bucaramanga, which was a big no-no. But I love that team, that Cali team, so much. I got the chance to watch them several times while I was in Tunja playing, and they were just so good. I was like, man, if I ever get a chance, I'm going to get that jersey.
En la madrugada, mirando el cielo casi rosado. Ese veneno huele apenas se destapa. Decile a Juaco que es pa' mí que no me venda.
What's up, guys? It's your girl Victoria, Victron, Lady V, V12. You're here with Jersey Talk, powered by V Sports. Today we have a really awesome guest, Horace Wormely. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Victoria. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm excellent. I'm excellent today. Thanks for having me on. Excited to talk about these jerseys of mine.
Thank you. I'm so excited too. It's been so fun, and I love to
Yeah.
see people's stories and
Nice.
good stuff. So,
Nice.
yeah, to talk a little bit about you, you played basketball for 12 years in 6 different continents. So does that mean Antarctica was the only continent you didn't touch?
Yeah, man, they don't have any basketball up there, and I wasn't trying to go play against any Penguins. So that's the only continent I didn't touch was Antarctica. But everywhere else I played.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I know the Drew League was part of your journey, and you had the name Gingerbread Man. How did you get that name?
Yeah, that's funny. I think I've been playing in the Drew. I started about 16, 17 years old. I think around maybe 18 or 19. I made this play from one baseline to the other, and I guess it was just really, really quick. And George, who is the infamous announcer at the Drew and has been the announcer there for probably 20-something years, he gives everyone their nicknames if you have one. And so he was like, the line, catch him if you can, from the nursery rhyme. And he said that, catch him if you can, he said it a couple times, and then he ended it with, it's the Gingerbread Man. And the name kind of stuck. I came out the game and remember, like, going back into the game and was waiting at the scorer's table and was like, the Gingerbread Man. He was like, yeah, I think that's your name. It kind of sticks. So it stuck. It's stuck. It's been my name ever since.
That's great. That's so fun. It's good.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Hilarious name. I'm still not used to that, by the way.
That's me.
Yeah.
But is there a team that you played with internationally or that like helped you, that was a significant experience or helped you?
Yeah, this is always a tough question too. It's a good one. It's always tough because I did get to play in quite a few places. So each team, each situation is special. It was special. Germany was where I started. That was the first place I played and lived abroad, and that experience was special because one, it was the first, right? It's just the first place I lived abroad, and I was so narrow-minded. Which is a good thing to a certain extent. I was narrow-minded. I went out there to started my career. I was very focused, very serious, and thankfully one of my teammates had played in Austria the year prior, and he was amazing for my the ability to adapt because he brought me out of my cocoon a bit. Because again, I was just basketball, and he opened my eyes up to just experiencing life and how basketball actually meshes and intertwines with the world around you. And so we would take walks around the city. We would swap books. We'd have conversations about art, culture, and ironically enough, it helped my game. And so that was really, really huge. And I, like, to this day, whenever I was right outside of Munich, so whenever anyone mentions Munich, like, my heart just warms up, my eyes light up because I remember that place is just it. And for that to be, my rookie year, for that to happen, it was big because it set the tone for the rest of my career and really where I am and what I'm doing today.
Is that where you became a soccer fan too?
Yes, it is. I was able to attend. It was Bayern Munich, FC Barcelona. Because I got to watch Thierry Henry play for the first time, and this is like my introduction to soccer, like in a very real way. Like my teammates were able to explain formations and positions and strategy. And, with anything, once you kind of understand the nuances of something, you're like, oh, okay, now I can see the genius in this. And, I grew up playing recreationally. It wasn't anything serious. So I didn't understand. I'm just kicking the ball. So, but once I got to Europe and I got to see that Bayern Munich, it was a Champions League game, I believe. It just broadened my horizons. I became a fan instantly. I chose FC Barcelona as my team at the time, even though that's kind of like I don't have a team right now, but that was my team, and Thierry Henry was like that was my favorite player. That was my guy. So that was where I got my introduction into football.
Well, I know in America, you don't even know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's called the game for a reason. Like
that's a fact. That's a fact. It's a beautiful game for sure.
That's good. Awesome. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, we can get into your jerseys.
Oh, nice. Let me see which one I'll start with. All right, this is probably the best one. So this is where, even though, just to kind of preface these jerseys, I played in Colombia. It was probably one of those places that I didn't mention, but the country itself is just one of the most beautiful places I've ever been in my life. And it was also probably the most embraced I've ever been by fans and just the culture. So once I got there, and I had already, this is after, Germany, I just became an unofficial Colombian citizen. So this is their national team jersey, and it's James Rodriguez. So I ended up actually choosing this jersey because I knew like all of the key figures or key players wear number 10 in soccer, like all the strikers and stuff. So I ended up switching my basketball jersey number to 10 because of that. So once I found the James jersey while I was in Colombia, I was like, oh, this fits. So that's that one. I was starting this national team jersey collection a bit. So this is the Brazilian one, old school one. And I always loved my guy, David Luiz. This one was more of an aesthetic. Like, I just loved watching him play with his fro, like flying in the air when he was playing. So I walked into, I think it was a Nike store in Bogota, and I was like, yep, I need this one. So this is just one of those, like, I loved watching him play. So, yeah, Brazil.
How is it important to put like your own style into your play as well?
Man, it's extremely important because in a way, really, we are artists ourselves. Just, you're not gonna find. I mean, two players can be very similar in how they play their style of play, but it's rare that you find two players that are just alike. And so, it's the set, one bounce pass or one type of pass can look one way with one player, the completely different way with another. And so I think it's important to be able to put your stamp on a game, and that comes over time. You kind of learn yourself and how that actually works and still being productive. But it is something that I know that I was very mindful of, and that some of my teammates and friends are very mindful of. It could be, what you write on your shoes is one way, what you wear as far as, T-shirt underneath, wristbands, all the way to, celebrations or something after your shot. It's the court is our canvas in so many ways, right? And so not only are we able to be creative with how we play the game, but then how we show up and appear, we're able to be creative as well. So I was very mindful of that. I was very, very mindful. I used to love like taping like my jersey to make this part really, really thin, the straps really thin. And I remember going to a game and like some of the kids that had my jerseys would do the same thing. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. That was really cool. Mine was more so for function because the jerseys were always a little bit bigger than I wanted them to, but it ended up just kind of being my style, and I would write stuff on the tape, right? So stuff like that, I enjoy.
Yeah, you gotta make
Yeah,
your own, and that's cool.
yeah. So the first team I played for in Colombia was Patriotas de Tunja. And so the city is Tunja, obviously Patriotas is Patriots. And the owner of the team that I played for also owned the soccer team. So we were able to go to as many games as we wanted to. So I took full advantage of that. And part of full advantage of that was getting their jersey. So this is Patriotas de Tunja. And I was gonna get name and number on the back myself, but that never ended up happening, and I left it plain. But hey, I still love it. It's one of my favorites. So there's that. And let's see. Okay, and this one also another Colombian team, and I got in trouble for this jersey because they take their jerseys, their teams very seriously in Colombia. And this was actually my second season in Colombia. I was playing for um, Bucaros, team in Bucaramanga city. And so their state is Santander. And where I bought this next jersey is actually in Cali, the team in Cali. And I wore it back to Bucaramanga, which was a big no-no. But I love that team, that Cali team, so much. I got the chance to watch them several times while I was in Tunja playing, and they were just so good. I was like, man, if I ever get a chance, I'm going to get that jersey. And again, they're so serious in Colombia with their jerseys. Like, you have to go to that city to buy that jersey because they're not going to sell them in enemy territory. But this one, I was able to do the 10, and I added my name to it. So this one's super special for me. I love it. So the team's name is Americas, but they're in Cali. Really awesome team. And this was a special edition breast cancer awareness jersey too. So that was really dope for me. Yeah.
How are rivalries overseas so much more intense? I'm actually like, I live in LA, but I'm a
Mm-hmm.
fan and a Broncos fan, so I'm like all the
What
opposite.
was the first team?
Celtics.
Oh wow. Wow. I don't have a basketball teammate, don't worry, but I don't know how you became a Celtics fan in LA.
My dad was a fan, so we just
Okay.
that was our.
Okay.
But like, how are rivalries so much more heated overseas than here?
Yeah, they being the rivalries, they're fully entrenched to their community. And I think it's a credit to those organizations. Obviously, soccer is one of the oldest sports. Some of these teams, some of these organizations, like Real Madrid or Barcelona, like they've been in existence since just something crazy like that, right? So they've been able to establish a really really awesome fan base. But while I was there living abroad, in pretty much most of the countries I was in, those organizations do a good job of um, being in the community, providing for their community, whether it's camps or food giveaways, tickets, you name it. It's constant, it's consistent, and I think that lends to the support, that tribalism, if you will, that they get from their communities. I think that legacy just gets passed on, like you just mentioned, from your father to you. Like they have that same legacy, and they can tell you where they were when Maduro scored or Medina, whoever. They could tell you where they were. Like their grandparents have a very profound story where they were, what they were drinking, what they were wearing, and they pass that on, and that tradition just carries. And I think that lends to that rivalry a lot. But they're fully entrenched. It's not just entertainment. Put it that way. I think here in America, when we watch sports, it's celebrities go to games and they sit in the front row, and there's none of, well, I won't say none of that, but it's rare. It's rare. Like it's not just entertainment. They're watching. They respect the art of the game. They know the rules. They're following along. That's the difference. It's not just entertainment. here I think sports is a bit more on the entertainment side.
Yeah, there's no like side seats. You can't like show up in a fit like
Yeah. You better wear you better wear some team color stuff, or you get tossed out of there trying to look fancy.
right.
Yeah. My last one, ironic enough, is actually a basketball jersey. And I am starting. This one was important for me. I'm starting a jersey line myself. Shameless plug. Um, I'll explain that maybe another time. But this is a friend of mine. It's a really, really, really good friend of mine. He's still playing. We actually played together on the Drew, or the Drew, with the Drew League team. We won our championship together in the Drew. His name is Malcolm Thomas, and he's actually in Germany right now. He's playing for Bayern Munich. So this is his Bayern Munich jersey, and he's the first one. I'm actually on a mission to get. Oh, there we go. I'm on a mission to get all of my friends who are still playing right now. I'm on a mission to get their jerseys. It's my way of just kind of honoring them, honoring our friendship. I'm trying to straighten it out. Sorry. There we go. And Thomas. Shout out Malcolm Thomas. So yeah, so he's first, and then I'm trying to get few of my other friends that are still playing, trying to get their jerseys as well. So that was it. It's my collection, the ones that I still have.
Very cool. No, that's cool. It shows like your story through your career. Like
Indeed, a project that I'm working on with the jersey. So this being Jersey Talk is like probably the best platform for it. But I did want to just kind of explain what that is. I'm working on creating jerseys for those that were in sports in the community that I grew up in, that influenced me and influenced many of us that may not have gone on to play professionally. They may not have even gone on to play college basketball or football or whatever. But I do think they need to be applauded, and they need their flowers. And so part of this project is that, like, I think we as a community, we shouldn't wait for our institutions necessarily to applaud them. I know at my old high school, there's only 3 basketball jerseys retired. And to walk in that gym and only see 3 jerseys is a bit of a slap in the face sometimes for me, because I know just how many people went to that school that were great, excellent human beings, and they may not have become successful in the world terms, I guess, of what success is, but they deserve to be honored in some way, not only for their contributions on the court, but for what they were able to do off the court in their communities. And so I don't have the power to put their jerseys up in the gym, but I do have the power to recreate them and allow those of us who grew up looking up to them or grew up with them, or even there are some that are younger than me that I'm still very much influenced by and inspired by. And I think their jerseys need to be placed on some pedestal of some sort. So what better pedestal than myself, I feel like, and those of us that love and honor them. So I'm a big, really, really big advocate for community. And so hopefully me sharing this, because I don't, this isn't an idea just for me. If you're listening to this and you're in your community and you feel like something isn't, someone isn't being cherished the way you feel like they should be, it's on you to make sure that they're getting their flowers that the way that you think they should be. So if the jersey part helps, and man, by all means, go with the jersey. If it's something else, go with it. But we need to start loving on each other a little bit more out loud.
yeah, it is hard to see like who decides who's a legend, or like when like more people that have touched on a deeper level than winning a championship, or like I don't know, and that's still valuable.
No, it's very true. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's very true. It's very true. I just, again, like I to your point, man, it's that's so important, I think, in how we define success too, and being able to, as a community, just define that for ourselves. And there's agency in that, and I love that. I love that about making it to the NBA is so hard. Making it to the NFL is so hard to do. Even playing overseas, to be honest with you, is really difficult to do. And it took a lot of luck to be like it is. I would love to be like, yeah, I'm the best there, but it took a lot of luck. It took a lot of other people's failures, successes, for me to learn from them to get there. And so again, this is a part of it. I think what those who came before me were able to do was a success. And I was able, to stand on their shoulders, and I still am standing on their shoulders. So I'm able to, I think, through this project, kind of define what success is for ourselves. And I don't want to do this alone either, because then it makes me like some sort of like dictator. But I'll at least start the project.
Yeah, no, that's amazing. That's good.
Indeed.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Horace. It was awesome
Yeah.
chatting with you.
Awesome. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, you guys stay tuned to V Sports. We'll have more Jersey talks for you.
Love it.